Good afternoon, my name's Swift and this is the Bikepacker. The Bikepacker is originally a series of videos overlooking what bags I use, equipment I take, the techniques I use to navigate around the United Kingdom. The Bikepacker Complete Series. Let's start with the rear seat post bag and take a look inside. Just nice and easy undoing here. Unroll and we pull out first a micro mosquito net. This is an extra large version for keeping all the mosquitoes off, as I don't have a tent, I just have a military basher. Digging a bit further, we have all my clothes. There's 2 t-shirts, cotton t-shirts, 4 or 5 pairs of socks. I don't really need that many at the minute, but I have them just in case it gets wet or it's too humid and you start sweating. There's also a spare pair of shorts in there as well. And in here, I'll just loosen off the bag a little bit to get this out. This is a 2-season caramel lightweight. This isn't too warm, to be fair, here in the UK. This is rated down to 14 degrees Celsius, which is quite warm. But for the lightweight and actual compactness of this bag, I got it for that specific reason. There isn't anything else in this back one. It's just my clothes, a sleeping bag, and a mosquito net. Now we'll take a closer look at what's in the front roll bag. On the front roll bags, you simply unclip the 2 main clips holding it up, and also, also the front supporting clips which actually hold the bag up in its entirety. This bag here contains my sleeping quarters. What's inside is, this is a nice little waterproof bag. There's an extra light caramel bivvy bag, a military camouflage basher, and my sleeper mat, which this stuff fits snugly inside. And that's pretty much all I take. That is my sleeping quarters as well as my sleeping bag from the rear bag, and that's it. That's pretty much all I take, clothes and sleeping wise. All the rest is accessories that I put onto the bike and that I would like to take, so let's have a look at them. This frame bag is a big pocket this side and a smaller, thinner diameter pocket the other side, where I keep a battery pack going up to my front bag to charge my phone. In the frame bag I have a thermal top, which is like a fleece, and a windproof outer layer, which is very helpful in the wind. I have I have a mosquito head net, brilliant for when you're first setting up your bigger head net. Long finger gloves when it's wet and rainy. I have a spare 15-litre dry bag just in case I decide I need to hold more and want to strap this onto my back or something. In here, it's nearly it now, but this is actually a waterproof bag by Caramel. It's quite a nice little folding up thing. The seams do rip off. I found down the bottom here, seams do rip off, but it's a nice little adjustable bag. I'm not quite sure what litre it is. It's about 20 litre bag there, so it's quite a small folding up bag. So if you don't want to take a rucksack and you still want to get food along the way, like flapjacks or bakery food or whatever you can find out on the road, you can put food and water in this without necessarily taking a full backpack or camelback. Going further inside, I've got some things I thought I'd lost. There's just some energy gels, which I don't particularly use that often myself. Some tent pegs for the military basher that's in my front roll bag. And all that's left now is some freshen up wipes, which are like lemon flavoured wipes you can get from takeaway restaurants and places like that to wipe your hands when you finished your meal. And yeah, that's all that's in there. It's a nice little bag. Like I say, the other side it holds a battery bank, which is 20,000 milliamp hour, which is like this. It's made by a company called ZAGG, Z-A-G-G. All of these products, by the way, I'll put a link in the description box under the video for everything that I can find on eBay and Amazon. On the top tube here you can see 2 bags. This one on my left is for my accessories like phone, wallet and keys, and this one on my right is for my puncture repair kit and any screws and necessities that I may need while out on the road. Opening this rear one up, you can see on the top here is a Topeak multi-tool. Very nice and handy for just quickly undoing or doing up screws and bolts, anything like that. Secondly, you have, just for emergency type situations, a small pot of nappy rash cream or Suda cream here in the United Kingdom. That's very helpful for saddle sores and that sort of thing. Just nice and handy to have in this pocket. Third thing, never leave home without your electrical tape. It saved my life on many occasions, whether it's holes in waterproof bags or even keeping your lights on your bike. This comes in very handy. Next two items we all know very well. Got some Continental 28 to 38C inner tubes. Very heavy duty, but I like the heavy dutiness, as then you don't get punctures as often. All that's left in here now is 2 spare rings for my lights that I've got scattered around the bike. In case I lose these rubber bits, I have some spares. Also in the pouch is a little side pocket within the main pouch itself, which holds little quick fix slime scabs to fix your punctures quickly on the side of the road. There's 2 plasticky graphite plastic tyre levers here. It's hard to fit all this on my seat. What else is there? There's one more little packet which has got a couple of quick links and a couple of little pins and a couple of 6mm and 5mm Allen bolt screws, just in case one wiggles loose on the bike and brake pads, so I have spares just in case that happens. The first thing you'll notice is a waterproof phone case made by Topeak. This is very lightweight and durable at the same time, and I've held that on by a strap of Velcro. That does me just fine, as I can easily get this off the bike in an emergency, in an accident, or if someone's had a crash and I need to call the police, I can quickly rip that off as quick as possible, just to aid in everyone's safety. Secondly, I have a snood for keeping the midges off my neck, but more importantly, this is my sweat rag. It will keep sweat and salt from building up around my eyes, and I can put water on this and wash my face wherever I like. You can wash your pots and pans and even your bike if you choose, although I keep this primarily for my face, arms and hands myself. In the accessory pouch itself, the first thing you'll come across is my vlogging camera. It's quite self-explanatory really. I've got a little fluffy dead cat, I think they're called, on the front of it, just to aid in stopping the wind noise. Secondly, I've got, well, this shouldn't even be in there, but it's very handy to have one with you wherever you go. This is a cat eye light clip. You clip this to your backpack, rucksack, or even your bib shorts at the back, at the rear of your body, and have a rear light clipping in there. They're very handy. Third of all, which should be second if that weren't there, this is a Caramel X-Lite head torch. The clip at the rear here can clip directly to your cycling cap, which is very handy, and it goes all sorts of angles and has red flashing lights, SOS signal, and high and low beam. That's very handy. Next we have an Opinel number 7 knife. This is about the biggest you can get in the United Kingdom and still be legal. This is a carbone version of the knife, and as you can see, it's gone kind of rusty and really dulled metal. The tip's been snapped, and I really wouldn't recommend these carbone ones with carbide or whatever they're made out of as well, as they're very fragile and brittle, and they snap rather than bend. So I highly recommend one of them for emergencies and things, but not a carbone one. Next in the pouch is a USB rechargeable light, and this is simply as a spare if one runs out of battery or dies completely in heavy rain. These are very handy to have, and I highly recommend taking at least one spare front one. One more thing left now in the main part. This is a Gerber dime. I wouldn't normally do multi-tool on this channel, as I'm not really a DIY bloke, but these are very handy as they've got a kind of crab claw end to them here, which gets out splinters and brambles and thistles out of your hands, as well as glass, metal shards and flint out of your tyres. Another good thing about these is this is actually a box opener, which is a very versatile tool, apart from opening boxes of course. And this blade here on it, even though it's about 1.5 inches in length, is extremely sharp and very useful for cutting up food, preparation for dishes, or cutting open packaging if you're opening food or anything like that. This is a nice curved blade, but like I said, I wouldn't normally mention them, but for the multi-purpose use of it, I would highly recommend them. Next in here we have a spare memory card for the vlogging camera and a spare battery for that camera. The only things now left inside this little pouch are a couple of my Hippie Swift business cards that I'll give out to people if they're interested in my ventures when I'm cycling around the United Kingdom and I don't have time to stop for a chat. But last of all, and most important part of any journey, is the recharging capability of your mobile phones, cameras and devices. This cable runs through a waterproof hole in the side of this Topic bag, down the side of my bike and into the frame bag itself, which holds a 20,000 mAh battery, which currently has 4 out of 5 bars, which will last me 2 to 3 weeks. They're very handy and nice and useful to have while out on the road, and I highly rate anything inside this setup. At the front of the bike you have this is a moon gemming light with two 25 watt LEDs. It's 240 lumen and is USB chargeable. It features a nice waterproof cover, which is highly waterproof by the way. I've tested it many occasions in heavy rain and underwater, and it works very well. No water's getting in this whatsoever. The main spot lamp is perfect for lighting up the road ahead of you to see potholes in the road or animals like rabbits, snakes and lizards, so you don't squash them at night, because that would be ending badly for both of you more or less. This is a very good light. You can position it up and down, left and right, and you can turn it around any way you like. I highly recommend them. These moon gemming lights are perfect for near enough any type of cycling anyone does. At the front of the bike we have two lights. These are just little lights that you can put kind of sideways, just so you're able to be seen while out on the road. I have two more of these lights at the rear of the bike where you can put any angle you want, because they're just simply got an elastic band wrapped around them. I like to typically put these facing sideways a little bit, just so people from the sideways angles can see you if they're pulling out from a junction or something like that, and your other lights may be obscured by your bags or a rucksack or anything like that. On the bar ends I have a couple of blinky lights. They also have a static light feature, but I don't really use that. I prefer the blinking lights, as people can see you more clearly and know exactly where you are and position on the road. These bar end lights are very handy for people seeing you from behind if your bottom lights or rear top bag lights are obscured. At the rear of the bike on my main seat post bag I've installed a USB rechargeable cat eye light. This has been installed here by using the loops on the bag itself and the hooks that come with the light originally. I simply hooked the plastic hook here and then followed the elastication bit through, which would originally go onto the hook if it was wrapped around your handlebars or seat tube. The only other light I've got is the one on my peak now. This is a Caramel Extra Light spotlight and it's very useful. You can go down if you're doing dinner or preparation, you can go down and have a nice little view, or if you're recording yourself and light up a bit of your face. What I like about this is you can clip directly on your peak just by a little metal clip, and you can also, I've kept the retaining wire so you can actually have it all as a full head strap. These are very useful, so where I keep that is I just keep it there next to my camera and all of my accessories and bits like that. I would like to point out that this is a USB rechargeable light, and that's the only reason this is on here at all. It's absolutely ridiculous that I find Cat Eye, which is a big brand, selling these lights for £33 each, or you can buy a pair for £45. This is a blinking mode and a constant mode, and yeah, that's it. That's all the modes you get. So unfortunately I won't recommend the Cat Eye one, because obviously they'd want a budget save and nick all our money. So get a cheap one off eBay, like just a knockoff of this. As long as it's USB rechargeable, you can put it along these loops on the top two bag. Navigation is usually done with GPS satellite navigation through your phone or sat nav or something like that, or through a paper map. I use a bit of both when I'm at home and simply write all the road names and places and towns I'm going to go through and past in my notes. This little notepad here tells me everywhere I need to be, when I need to be there, and how to get there. I find that GPS satellite navigation on your phone is sometimes inaccurate and drains a lot of battery, plus sometimes you just don't have a phone with you. Paper maps are rather bulky and cumbersome, plus can get wet in the rain, and if you buy a nice waterproof notepad like this, you'll be set to go on many adventures. On the front of the bike, this GoPro here can see everything from the handlebars to the top of my head. It's also a very good view for seeing my expressions on my face when I'm climbing strong uphills or going down long descents. It's a very good camera to vlog to and talk to if you just simply cover up the rear microphone with a bit of electrical tape, so then you're not getting all the wind noise and you can vlog while cycling along, which is quite professional and gets good shots of the scenery and views behind you when you're out on the road. So let's take a look, see what that looks like. The camera on the rear of my bike is another little GoPro 4 session, and this is purely for safety and security while in towns and cities. You can have a nice clear view of everything behind you, although this tyre does get in the shot a bit. So let's take a little look at that. Apart from these two cameras on my bike, I also have one on my helmet. This one currently doesn't have one in it, as I've only got two GoPros because they are quite expensive. So this one on my hat is normally paired with the one at the back, and I put this camera inside here when I'm in a town or city, or I don't want to vlog or get any views from that angle. They're very highly recommended, the ones on your head, although you do need to angle them right and get it just perfect, or you could be looking at the ground or the sky for hours on end. For my other GoPro mounts, firstly I have a spare selfie stick where I can selfie while riding along, or if I just stop quickly and attach my GoPro and vlog when I'm wherever I like while out on the road. Third person view, look. Third person. Just in time for the burials here. Alright. Secondly, for my spare mounts, I have a head strap. I don't normally use this that much, as I have one on my helmet, but this is very handy for at night time if I want to see down, if I'm cooking or anything like that, and I want another perspective or view. Thirdly, and this is probably one of the most common straps, this is a chest mount. This sits directly roughly about there, and you can see your handlebars and arms going forward in front of you, and it's a good, clear, immersive view for cyclists. I would highly recommend these. You can pick up a lot of these type things for £10 for about 40 pieces off eBay. This one here is a little wrist strap, and it's not the most pleasant of wrist straps, as it's got one of them new Velcro bits where it's Velcro double-sided. As for the cameras themselves, they are GoPro 4 sessions. This one is the original, and the one in the rear of the bike is just a plain GoPro session. That one is actually the superior one to this. This is the old version, that's the new. Yet that one has less quality footage, time-lapse, still pictures, they're all 2 megapixels less, and it even has less settings when you're even on the app. So I would highly recommend picking up an older version, GoPro 4 session, and not the newer GoPro session. Lots of you guys at home have noticed these weird bits of material here. Everyone thought it was off the front roll bag, but they're not. It's actually a water bottle holder, as you can see on this one over here. And it's quite nice and easy. It just straps to your handlebars. It's got a bit of elastic here at the top to go over your bottle top, and a nice little pulley thing here. The actual width is determined by how much you want it along the Velcro. I have it normally quite tight as I'm going on road and off road. So by putting it in there and then simply putting the elastic bit over, it holds it quite nicely and securely. Obviously you want to position it how you want to position it, then make sure it stays there, adjusting the clips on the back side of the holder itself. Alternatively, you could always get your bottle cage and put a couple of cable ties and mount it to your front forks. It doesn't get in your way of any turning circle or anything like that, but make sure you put it in the right place when you want it. And it's always a good idea, if you do have this problem, to put a bit of electrical tape down first before the cable tie, purely so it don't mark your forks when you eventually take it off. In the main frame, you can see that the frame bag itself takes up most of the room, so we can't get 2 big water bottles in here. So what I've done is I've sacrificed this water bottle cage, which couldn't hold much more than spares or tools and inner tubes anyway, and replaced it with a small airlight pump. For the front bottle cage, I've actually moved it down a notch. In other words, I've moved the cage down, so this bottom bolt, which should be in the bottom hole of the cage, is now in the top hole of the cage. So there's not actually a bolt holding it to the frame at all at this lower end here. Instead, I've simply got some electrical tape and wrapped it around a few times to protect the frame. Put 2 or 3 cable ties round, snipping them off quite closely, making sure there's no sharp edges to poke you or your clothes and rip them or anything like that. And then put more electrical tape around that, so then it's nice and secure and it's not going anywhere. And this is a very secure way of holding your 500ml or even 750ml water bottles. It may intrude on a bit on the bag up here, but that's nothing, because you need to stay hydrated while out on the road. If you don't like the idea or style of these, then you can always opt for a fully covered water bottle cover. These are just the same, they have a bit of Velcro, a little snap at the bottom. There's not much free play to these, so they will sit a bit higher up on the handlebars, although that isn't really an issue if you really have to keep hot things hot and cold things cold. It has a nice little toggle, which I normally cut off and repurpose for other things and projects around the bike, whatever that may be. What I like most about these is there's lots of loops and snaps all over them, so you can simply get a couple of cable ties, wang them round, and you can have your water bottles wherever you like. So at the end of the day, you have one of these things, which is very good. Lots of loops and clips and straps and tassels, and it even has all the Velcro, so you can get it to the size water bottle you need. It's very lightweight and very efficient. And when you don't want to use it anymore, you can simply pack it up like that. Well, smaller than that like small mobile phone type size. Chuck it in your bag, you don't have to worry about it. They're £1.30 on eBay at the minute. Go out and buy loads. I've got about 6, 8, I can't remember. But these things are about £2.10p each. Absolute bargain. Again, they're just so useful. You can store anything in them, whether it's just to chuck your waterproofs in, or your gloves, or a couple of smocks, or something like that. Anything you like, sweat rag, whatever. Chuck them in here, happy days. So altogether, for 2 of them, you're looking at £3, £3.50 tops. This bike is now fully equipped with front bar roll bag, rear seat post bag, a nice sizable frame bag down here with a pocket each side, and 2 top fuel tank bags. This holds everything I need that I've found for the United Kingdom in general. So let's take a closer look at these individual bags. As you can see, it's a nice size 10-litre bag. It simply unrolls when you would like it to unroll to get all your stuff out. These clips can be done one-handed with relative ease, and so can the 2 straps either side to actually hold it steady onto the seat post itself. The main seat post down here, there's a bit of Velcro. That's really helpful for doing one-handed, and you can do it up much tighter than I have it now, although it doesn't really matter as there's only clothes and that sort of thing, and a sleeping bag, sorry, in this bag right now. On the back here you can see I've got a little light. This bag also features a nice little pocket that I don't really use for anything there, but I suppose you could always keep some green scab puncture repair patches in there, just in case you get a puncture and don't want to go into your main puncture repair pouch. This bag isn't particularly waterproof, but it's a good bag nonetheless, and for under £20 here in the United Kingdom, I got it off eBay, and I actually got 3 of them one of which I'm raffling off on my channel in a couple of weeks. So for under 20 quid, that is a bargain to be had. All you need to do then is just simply get a 10 to 15 litre dry bag. I normally have a 15 litre one, which is 5 litres bigger than this bag, as then it's much easier to get in and out, and you have a lot of room, free play if it does get overfull, right out here type thing, and it's harder to close. My front roll bag is a Lotus Bags, and for under £20 once more on eBay here in the United Kingdom, it's an absolute bargain. It's very high quality. You can attach loads of accessories with all these molly loops, military molly loops. I've put a reflector in there. How it works is it's a simple bit of material that wraps around anything you like, in this case my sleeper mat with my military bastion dry bag in it, but you can wrap anything up in it. You can simply undo the two main clips and undo the two supporting straps, and then this comes out quite nicely. The original dry bag that come with this I do like, and it is of high quality, but as this is a similar size, I just put this straight in. Although with this bag that I have myself, it doesn't have the Velcro strap, which is brilliant for doing this up all with one hand. If you're holding your bike and it's unsteady or something like that, you can do it all up with one hand and it's not too big of an issue. Clip the straps in. The two main ones, of course, first, and then with the two tightening ones, you do them last, because that holds your roll bag nice and high on the handlebars, and if there is any free play, just give it a little pull down with one of these tassels off either one of the tightening straps. These bags are very nice. They don't have to be waterproof at all, sorry, but they are actually fairly waterproof material for some reason. It's very high quality, so go check them out. For my main frame bag, as you can see, it's also by Lotus Bags, and again at under £20 off eBay here in the United Kingdom. They're an absolute steal. They're fully waterproof and very high quality, and it features a nice big compartment on this side, and the other side is a shorter, less deep compartment to put your wallet, keys, mobile phone and stuff like that. Again, you can see there's loads of molly loops and straps all over the bag and around it, so you can mount it onto your favourite bike without much hassle at all, how you want to mount it. But if you actually had a flatter frame than my Sportif bike here, it would actually sit a bit more nicely. On the front top tube, you can see here there's a frame bag by Topique Bags, alongside one at the back, identical. This one at the back is for my puncture repair kit, and this one is for my general accessories while out cycling. This holds my wallet, keys, mobile phone while it's charging type thing. Let's have the mount on my handlebars, which I can't fit on at the minute. What I love most about these bags is they have a wiring routing hole which is completely sealed with 3 layers of different material, completely sealing the hole around the wire, keeping it waterproof even in heavy rain. These are actually the most expensive bags on my entire bike at £30 each, in other words £60 a pair. It sounds like a lot of money, but they're highly worth it compared to the other brands out there, so I highly recommend these, and you can pick them up from the local Halfords down the road in towns or shopping centres for £30 wherever you live. Whether it's water storage or capacity to store food and accessories, a camelback is a really good thing to have. I wouldn't actually recommend anything other than the camelback system that is specifically designed for cycling, as once you've cycled for over 2 or 3 hours, you can experience neck pain and lower back pain, and this is specifically due to the weight on your shoulders and neck muscles being pulled down as you're looking up while out on the road riding. I would suggest using the chest clips like this, along with the waist clips that most camelbacks come with, as this aids in keeping the bag in the correct position so it don't hurt your neck muscles as much as it would without them. As for the features of this bag, you have 4 main compartments and multiple straps and tassels around it to connect lights and anything you want to strap to it really. You have a couple of helmet clips here, so you can get the straps from your helmet, put them in these clips, tighten it up a little bit, and that your helmet will sit nicely on the side, or the back rather, of this bag. The water bladder in here is 3 litres. This hose, it's nice and heavy duty and I've had no trouble with it. It has a nice little magnetic clip here, so it's well out of the way, it keeps out of the way, sorry. And a nice little biting mechanism here. It has an open and closed tap down the bottom, and you simply bite on it and suck to get the fluid. The first pocket you come to is the one with the blue tassel on the zip, and this is for the water bladder. We'll get to that in a minute, but I'll show you the other features of the bag first. In the front pocket here we have lots of bits and bobs like a notepad, a small multi-tool that I haven't got my bike frame bags on at the minute, so I'm just taking all my accessories in here. I've got my tobacco, yes I do smoke, even though I do miles, I do smoke. I've got my knife, I've got all my accessories in there. In this top compartment here, which I call the top compartment or whatever, it's just got like a little elasticated mesh, and here I simply keep a 2.5 metre long cable and a nice big master lock. That seems to do well for most situations. This does actually weigh about as much as a small D-lock, like a proper heavy duty D-lock, but for the compactness and durability of this, I'd rather have the weight of this small thing on my bike than the weight of a big awkward shaped thing on my bike, so I like to have them. The main compartment itself is about 8 to 10 litres. These bags are fully waterproof, but I don't think they are. I have had some issues with them. My friend Kenny's had issues with them as well, mainly in non-stop heavy rain for a couple of days. In here I've just got my raincoat at the minute in case it rains today while I'm doing a video, but normally I would just have food and water and like even a flask of hot coffee. If I'm going on a short couple of day trip, I'll take a flask of hot coffee or something just to warm up over campfire. Nice and easy clips on here which strap down really well, although I wouldn't strap them down too tight because it does alter the effect, sorry not the effect, the curvature of the spine pad on your back, so it can be quite uncomfortable if you do these up too tight. Things can dig in and it won't be too good. In the water bladder pouch, it's a nice simple system. There's a little hook here which hooks onto there like that, but you might more or less get the bag out, press this yellow button. It's completely waterproof. It's self-sealing, this little yellow tap down here, so when you come to fill up, you can fill up, and when it's time to put it back in the bag, you get this hose, make sure there's no debris on it or anything. You clip it in, making sure it's clipped in properly. You place it back in the bag, and then give it a little shake to make sure it's set properly type thing, if you know what I mean. And then do the bag up. Simple as that. You can then do the bag up, put it on, and you're near enough ready to go. If you don't like the idea of having a heavy weight on your back and you don't need the storage in your rucksack, you can always opt to get a military camelback version of this, which don't have much storage. There is a little bit of a mat pouch here, or you can even put a rubber pad in to protect your back from if the water does get warm if you're crossing a desert or something. But these are high Gore-Tex, highly resistant Gore-Tex material. I highly recommend them. I've had this one years, and as you can see, it still looks brand new. It smells brand new as well. It smells like a military surplus shop actually. So I can always highly recommend these. Plus they have loads of loops and tassels on them to connect them to whatever you want. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions or feedback, please leave them in the comments below. One pocket I forgot to mention on the top here, it's just a nice little pocket for all your accessories and bits like that. Till next time, stay safe and I hope you find peace. Hello everyone, today I'm going to take you through my camelback systems for bikepacking. I'm telling you cow, you stay away from my bike. There's loads of cows ganging up on me at the minute, might as well show you.